Hello, hello, welcome to Mindset to Results. And today our guest is Dasha Kosse. She is globally certified leadership coach. And today we will speak about women in leadership. Hi, Dasha.
Hi, Elena. It's nice to meet you.
Welcome to our show. So let's speak a little bit about you. Tell us your story, how you found that passion, become leadership coach, and then we will speak about the challenges that the women usually facing when they have leadership positions.
That sounds good. I actually love telling my story. So, apart from being a globally certified leadership coach, I'm also a global learning and development manager. And it's actually my first leadership position. I was promoted 3 years ago. And Elena, I think it was the toughest time of my life when I was promoted. I faced the darkest times, and it all came from feeling insecure, right? So I had a good girl syndrome, I had an imposter syndrome. I was not able to say no, especially to people who are higher than me on the hierarchical ladder. And so, when I was really, really hitting my lows, miracle happened and the mentoring program was introduced in my company. And I've met my absolutely amazing mentor. Her name is Becca, and she literally pulled me from that darkness. She mentored me. We had calls every week, and step by step, I gained this confidence, right? And I started being really confident in my position, really confident in my shoes, really confident in my role. And I started attract uh, great projects, possibilities. I started meeting good people, and I was like, wow, that was really a transformational experience for me. So that was my story. That was how it all started. And then I've got two certifications in the international coaching.
That is great. So, what is imposter syndrome?
Imposter syndrome is when you feel not worthy. It's when you feel inadequate. When something good is happening to you and you think, oh, that's an accident, right? It shouldn't be happening to me. I'm not worth this recognition, or I'm not worth being given the privileges that are given to me.
Okay, and you said also that you had that good girl syndrome. What is that?
Yeah. Oh, good girl syndrome. I still have it sometimes. Good girl syndrome is being good for everyone at the cost of your well being, basically. It's sometimes when you're saying yes to a person and you're sacrificing your time and you're sacrificing maybe, uh, some time alone with you or something that you planned for yourself. That's basically a rescuer and the person who is saying yes for the sake of being nice, because being nice is, when we're nice to people, we're making sure on the subconscious level that we're safe. So it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing saying yes to everyone. What is a good thing is to have our boundaries and saying yes when we really have time to help someone, and saying no when we don't.
So tell a little bit about your experience when you got the mentor. What changed for you? What was the process that you gained your confidence?
So basically, we were, discussing my situation, and my situation only. So, number one, what helped me is one to one approach. She helped me to understand that if my plate is full, then I can't take anything else, right? So,
Mhm.
what I've learned first is to say no to people. I've learned to have my boundaries in a very polite way. It doesn't mean that I'm bad to people. It's just some things I can do and some things I cannot do. So, in a really, really nice and kind way, I've learned how to say no. That was
Why is
that was a really big thing.
Mhm. And why is this important for leadership positions for
It's
women?
very important, Elena, because number one, it's a part of leaders' well-being. And if leader's plate is full, is if my plate is full of nice juicy fruits, I can feed you. Yeah, as my team member or as my client, you can get my fruit because I'm full. I am energized, I have power to help you. If as a leader I am empty, I can't help you because you can't drink from an empty lake, right? You can't drink from the empty glass. So, number one, I would say it's the well being of the leader. Number two, of course, we have our priorities. So, our priorities is our performance. The question is if this action will positively contribute to our performance and the well being of the company. If yes, then okay, we will find time. If not, we need to say no, right? Because just some things are not in line with our vision and our tasks, and we need to be able to say that.
Yeah, it's true because some people are conditioned to be good, to be polite, and they they don't take themselves into consideration. Yeah, that they are
Absolutely,
convenient.
yes.
Maybe they don't have maybe that capacity to do that, and when they strengthen themselves all the time, it can end up with depression, anxiety, and feeling overwhelmed.
Exactly, because every time you are struggling to say no and you're actually saying yes, it consumes from your resource. And so your resource will get empty if you will not replenish your resource. And this is exactly when the depression can hit, right? The like the empty feeling can hit, and all of this states that are like a mass state, because it's not natural. We have to protect our boundaries because we need to treat ourselves as our biggest priorities and our biggest fans, right? Because we feed everyone else as leaders. So it's really, really important for us to maintain a good level of well-being.
Yeah, true. So let's speak more about the leadership and which problems women face, and from your experience, what you saw that really could help them to be better.
Mhm. So definitely the ones that we listed, I think they're very popular, which is imposter syndrome, good girl syndrome, inability to say no, inability to prioritize, right? Sometimes we all know that the corporate world is like I don't remember the percentage at this point of time, but I think it's much more dominant by men than by women. And so sometimes women try to fake men's energy because men's energy is an energy of power, and sometimes they think that being a kind woman and being a good woman is not enough, right? Because it's a primarily men's environment is the primary environment in corporate leadership. Some of the women, they might be misled by the idea that they have to act like men, but that's not true. Actually, like, I have lots of leaders and business psychologists in my network. I'm privileged to have an absolutely amazing network, and many specialists, they're saying that actually this energy, women's energy of nurturing, of kindness, of taking care of people, this is what makes them amazing, amazing leaders. Because it's not only about power, and it's not only about being, strict and straight to the point. It's also about kindness and about caring.
So, what are the real methods that help women to become aware of the way how they act and how they react, maybe, and how they behave? Because many people are not aware of their behavior. They can struggle inside and they don't even understand that they are the cause, and that their attitude to things is the cause. So, how uh, they can be helped to realize that the cause in themselves, and what exactly they can do to change the situation?
So what I use usually, it's the one-to-one approach. I prefer to coach women one-on-one. And one of the methods that can be taken is hyper responsibility, right? Because what you mentioned, like how they can recognize that they are the cause of the issue. So the concept of hyper responsibility assumes that you take responsibility for everything, right? So whatever happens, okay, that's I'm taking the responsibility. Let me reflect what I did in this situation. If I would mirror the situation and I will actually zoom out the situation and I would look at myself, do I like my behavior? Would I like if someone will act to me like, the way I acted in regards to that person? So that's actually zooming out and looking at the situation from that perspective is very, very helpful. This is one of the coaching approaches. Another approach, you might flip the situation and imagine yourself in the shoes of the other person, right? And, you know, the basically it boils down to taking the responsibility because you only can control yourself, your attitude, and your reactions. You can't control other people, right? So instead of complaining or discussing the external factors, we're always taking charge of the internal factors because that's the only thing that we can change.
Yes, this is a good approach to understand that we are the cause and everything is the cause and effects. And if we change our attitude, our actions, that also starts from observing thoughts and reactions, because many times, because we are creatures of habits, the actions come first. Even without thinking, we can do something. Yes, people who are not in self-development, don't study themselves, usually are just programmed a certain way to react to outside factors, yes, and speak and do something even without thinking, because this is mental activity is faster than thinking. Yes, and
It
some
is.
people, yeah, and some people think that they are thinking, but actually they don't. Yes, it is
They're
just mental
reacting.
activity, it is reacting. And for leaders, it is so important to observe the situation and to think before they say or do something, because they are leaders. That's why they are leaders. Yeah, they have to lead by examples, because they're people who work in the team and they will mirror the leaders.
That's exactly the thing because they will look at us, they will look at our behavior, and they're like, okay, so if she's taking a good care of herself, then I want to take a good care of myself too. I want to be, striving. I want to feel good because I know that that has a direct impact on my productivity. And by the way, about the reactions approach, I do have a nice and super simple framework. It's a 4P framework. It's from one of the books. I think it's from Atomic Habits. It's 4P. Whenever you're facing something and you're like, in the reactive state and you're about to react, it's a 4P. So, first P is for pausing. Just pause. It can be just simply pause. It can be pause and take a deep breath. It can be pause and really look somewhere, right? Just refocus your attention. Then it's the second P is um, process. Process what's really is going on. Because as you brilliantly mentioned, some people are jumping into reaction. They're not even thinking because it's autopilot. So they will just repeat, their old programming. But when you pause and you really zoom out and you look at the situation and you evaluate the situation, that will really, really help you. So pause, process, plan. How do you want to address the situation as the best version of yourself? What is possible to do right now? What would be the best course of action, right? And then fourth P is proceed.
Yeah.
Proceed
Mhm.
stuff that you planned, and then the ball will be at the corner of other person, and then once you get the ball back in your corner, it will be up to you. You can repeat the framework, right?
Yes, it's a good framework. So, what is important in this, not to act from five senses, as usually people are conditioned, just to receive information from their eyes, ears. Yes, these five senses: ability to see, hear, taste, touch, smell. But thinking and approach to situation from high mental faculties. Like one of these high mental faculties is perception, is to have this ability to look at situation from different things. Because when people just react, this happens because they just operate on the level of their senses. This is how they don't look at situation at different point of views, and don't see that the person can also be right just by because he is looking at the same from his perception of you. Yes, and this ability as the leader is so important to have this ability coming from different perceptions and see the picture from different sides. And
Absolutely.
also, and another mental activity is reasoning. Yes, like as you said, just pause and reason, like think about this, how you want to respond. Because your respond will affect the situation, how it will be solved.
For sure. Absolutely. And now that you started talking about the biases, another thing for the leaders is unconscious bias. And it's not only for the leaders, I think it's for everyone. So basically, what is unconscious bias? This is some of the rooted perceptions that we have about particular scenarios and situations, right? And sometimes we can really discriminate something without actually understanding that we're doing it. So that's I think that every leader should be educated on unconscious bias. I'll give you an example. Imagine, I don't know, in kindergarten, a girl named Elena hit me, right? And she injured me. So a bias, I might have a bias in my system that all of the Elenas are bad and all of the Elenas, will hit me. So then when I'm dealing with other Elenas that have no relations to that girl, I subconsciously think bad about it. And those subconscious biases, they might be about everything. They might be about gender, right? Some people might think, oh, you know what, women are generally less clever than men. And it's subconscious. They don't understand that. And so, for example, if it's a hiring manager, then the hiring manager will have a tendency to hire more men than women. Or sometimes, it's a super weird perception that um, like the bias that women who have lighter hair are different from the women who have darker hair, which is nonsense, right?
Mhm.
This is nonsense, but this is a good example of unconscious bias. Or like
Yes.
someone, or the older person is less tech savvy than a younger person. Trust me, I know so many older person who are super tech savvy, right? It's just the biases that either society forms in our heads or are based on our previous experiences or the perceptions of other people that are close to us usually.
Yes, and based on this bias, we have expectations subconsciously. We
Yes.
start
Yes,
expecting something
exactly.
to happen that in real life doesn't have any connection to that person.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
yes, and in most cases, people don't understand that they have those biases because they just act according to those programs on
Exactly.
autopilot without thinking and without analyzing. Like
Exactly.
usually when the situation happens, the first reaction is to blame who is wrong. Yes, why this happened because of
It's
that, that,
common.
that.
It's
And
common reaction.
people don't have the tendency to look at themselves, even ask question, could I be the reason, or could I deal this situation better,
Yeah.
or what could be done better by me to not to let the situation to get to that, for example, results. So for leaders, it is so important to analyze themselves and
Yeah.
to become self-aware, and it all starts from observing their thoughts, the thoughts
Absolutely. So
in the dialogue. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. So it's basically taking the subconscious and bringing it to the conscious level where you actually understand it. And one of the methods how you can do that is actually to ask powerful questions. or do the reflections, right? Or having a coach and discuss that. Because like you have to really, really think about the situation and zoom out and pull those thoughts from the subconscious mind and make it conscious. And usually, if you don't do it as a leader or as the person, there are three natural reactions that people have when they are under pressure or when they are challenged, right? Which is fight, flight, and freeze. So, do you want me to talk a little bit on the high level about those reactions?
Yes, of course. Yes, I think people who listen to us, they would benefit from this.
So if you don't analyze your behaviors and you have a sensitive ego as a leader, when you're being challenged, right, you can have one of those three reactions. So fight reaction is when you're constantly interrupting and you're fighting with your opponent and you're trying to prove your right, and you're trying to diminish your opponent. This is the fight reaction. Flight reaction is when you're running, right? You're just escaping the situation. You don't want to hear about it. You don't want to do anything with that situation. You're just sorry, I need to go. I don't want to really to discuss that. And freeze is actually when you're just standing there and you have no idea what to do. And a good thing to remember, like those three reactions, is, you know, by just remembering Mother Nature, the scenario of Mother Nature. So remember, imagine that you are walking on the woods and you want to do mushroom picking, let's say, and you see the bear, right? The bear can do three actions. The bear can attack you, the bear can run away, or the bear can freeze. We are the same. Yeah, our minds, they are from really million years ago. So it's really, really important when something like this happens to actually, my suggestion would be to use this 4P framework. Pause. When someone is challenging you, pause. Ask yourself a question: how do I want to react right now? What will the best version of myself do right now? Right? And then process everything. Okay, so if I will do that, if I will start fighting, what will that do to the situation? Or if I will escape, what will that do? Right? Of course, we don't have a lot of time as a leaders when we are challenged. So usually the answer is expected from us as soon as possible. But it's a muscle, you know. By repeating these reactions and by exercising our neuroconnections, we are emerging stronger with every situation.
Yes, this is very powerful advice, and I think that responding, as you said, like responding with processing and reasoning and from the place of your higher self, the place of your best self, it will benefit in every situation.
Yeah, yeah. I love it.
Also, let's speak about life work harmony. I even don't say balance because there is no balance. It is always it is always what is the priority, what is the value that gets more weight, right, on these scales. So there are many women who leaders who have audacious goals, who are ambitious and driven, and become successful at workplace because they are so focused and they give so like their all to their dreams as business in their business career. And many of these women are not happy in their relationship. So how would you suggest them to find that harmony and to change their priorities, or maybe not just change priorities, but um, to find time for their personal life, how to balance these different goals, because both of them are essential for women. Yeah, all women, they I think all, maybe not all, of course, but most, yeah, mostly maybe. Yeah, most of women, I believe, that they feel that they want to feel like women. Yes, not just have that masculine energy, even if they have to do it and have that be masculine at work to achieve their audacious goals. But somewhere in their heart, they want to feel like women. They want to have that feminine energy and just to be in that calm state, to be relaxed, knowing that there is somebody who takes care of them and they take care. Yes, I think like most, I believe that. Yeah, okay, like women have that feeling. So how they can find that harmony?
That's a really great question. I love this question, and I love that you called it harmony, not balance, because balance, it's equal distribution, right, of focus and energy. And harmony, it depends. 30-70 might be harmonious equation for you. So I would say that everyone, like, I love to treat this from the standpoint that everyone is very different and very unique. That's why I smiled when you said, I think that every woman wants to like, have some personal life. So I would say the first step is to become aware of this, right? To become aware that I have a deep, for example, in my personal life, and I want to change it. Awareness stage is the first stage. Once I know where the issue. For that, for example, one of the tools that I love to use is the wheel of life, right? Is when we are taking the will and we are dividing it on the most important sectors of your life. And then you evaluate the sectors from 1 to 10. 1 being the lowest and 10 being like, I did really great. And so what it allows you to see is like where you succeeded and where there is a good possibility for improvement. So once you're aware, you do that will, step 2, and you understand, okay, my personal life is really has a deep, right? And then the next step is to expand your mind. And what I would do, I would allow my client dream unlimitedly. What do you want to happen in your personal life? Oh, I want to have a man, or I want the man to treat me really nicely. I want to, I don't know, go for vacation with this man 4 times a year or something like this, right? So actually, by dreaming, you're expanding yourself and you're expanding your horizons. And I really believe that, you're sending the signals to the universe that it might be one of the possibilities already, right? So then basically we are also expanding the minds of what can be done from the client's perspective to make it come true, right? Because we know that we can't control anything from the outside. It's not possible. We only can control ourselves. So what can I do to increase my possibilities to meet that man? I can dress up nicely and I can go for a girlfriend's evening to somewhere to a nice restaurant, right? Or I can go to some event where are lots of cool men and women. And so it's really your brain and your conscious and subconscious starts looking for possibilities for that to happen. What I want and what I always tell to my clients, do mini baby steps and celebrate every mini baby step as the progress towards your goal, right? So that's on a very high level. That's how I would treat this situation.
Yes, and started thinking about this and allowing yourself to see it happening. First, to know what you want. Yes, everything starts from that.
Yeah,
First, build the desire and write exactly the script of your life, how you want it to be. And start
absolutely.
using again high mental faculties, that one of them is imagination. So start to visualize that person already as it is real, and go with this person in your virtual reality. Walk with him, talk with him, have dinner, and imagine that the person is already around. And also, it is important to know exactly characteristics of that person. Like what
The
is
more
important.
details you draw, absolutely, the merrier.
Yes, like right in the circle, my man or my husband, or and then like different characteristics which are important for you, and then visualize that person. Because when we visualize something at if it is real, and we uh, we have those feelings, we experience those feelings, it all connects to our heart that
Our
generates
vibrations.
frequency. Yes,
Yeah, yeah,
it is
absolutely.
different vibrations. This is how the the thoughts and heart generate those waves, like creates electromagnetic waves, and we become energetic magnet for that.
Yes, that's so true.
Yeah,
That's so
because
true. What I want to say, absolutely, it resonates, like everything that you're saying resonates with me on a very deep level, because basically it's connected to your state, your vibrations, because vibrationally we attract the same vibration, right? And our subconscious, it doesn't recognize the thoughts. They don't recognize if it's now in the physical world, in your reality, or in your subconscious, right? So by actually raising your vibrations, you are attracting the vibration with the same frequency. That's why your advice is really, really awesome.
yes, and for illustration, maybe it will be easy to imagine this. If we get the drop of water, and if we put this water near the drop of oil, so they will go
Separate. Yeah,
separate each other. But if we put the drop of water and put it near another drop of water, it will connect and it will become bigger. Yeah, drop.
exactly.
So exactly like this, the same frequencies, they get attached to each other, and our thoughts, our reality, how we live, it is at a certain frequency level. There are like different channels, and how we think, how we act, and results which we get, it is just reflection of what is going inside. So
Yeah,
if we want something different in our life, we don't have that just because we didn't give attention to this, because we didn't thought about this, and because we didn't expect this, because we always get what we expect. So if you want relations to be or at different level, or to find a spouse or partner, we have to start thinking about this, visualizing, and give time. Yeah, just block time every day, maybe 15 minutes, three times, and just spend time in your visualization, in your uh, imagining reality with that person. And this is how you will start becoming that energetic magnet. And you don't know even how it will happen. It can happen from the way that you will never even think about. But being,
exactly. You don't need to know how. You don't need to know how. You need to know what. How will be figured out by the universe. Yeah, I love
yes.
it.
And another thing is like when we want something, we can we can think about this as if it already happened, and visualizing and spending time, and thinking and acting, feeling, acting as if it already happened, it will become to have it faster. Yeah, so sooner you will learn how to feel as it is already real, sooner it will happen.
Yeah, I love it. I absolutely agree.
Yeah, this is some manifestation techniques.
Which are super useful in every sphere of our life. And also to contribute to this conversation, the two most vibrational two energies that are the highest vibrationally ABC are the energy of love and gratitude.
Yes, energy of love and gratitude. Yes, so when you think about something that you want to have, come from the place of gratitude and the place of happiness and love. not from the place that you need this. Oh, I need this. I can't
Exactly.
live without that anymore. No, that is not a good
It's
way.
a scarcity. Yeah, it's a
Yes,
scarcity.
yes, never think about something from the place of doubt, scare, for example, or I don't to be alone all my life, or what happens if I don't find anybody, or there are no men, for example, left. Yes, that is not right way. Because you can attract things from happiness. Yeah, because you can become that person who already has that in your life. Yes, and
Absolutely.
you don't need even to have this. Because you can imagine this and feel if it is already happened, and this is how you will start attracting this to happen. It works this way, not vice versa.
Not vice versa. Absolutely agree. I absolutely agree with you. And I think every person has something to be grateful for, right? Even in the darkest times, even when sometimes we think that everything might be against us, we still have lots of things to be grateful for, right? We have our lives. We woke up today being able to breathe. And with that, and with our actions and with our energy, we can do everything we want. We always have choices.
Yes, that's why before you do these manifestation techniques and visualizing exercise and spend your time dreaming what you really want and giving space to that new situation in your life, I would suggest you to write 10 reasons what you're grateful for. So you get yourself in that high level of energy, high vibration, and you will start doing this from not from the place of neediness, but from the place of having so much to be grateful for in your life. Because if you're grateful for what you have, you will have more to be grateful for.
It will multiply. Absolutely, yes. Yes. 100% agree.
Yes, so let's resume what we just spoke about for women leaders, yeah, in these leadership positions. That first thing is to love yourself, to love yourself, respect yourself, have your boundaries, learn how to say no, something that you don't feel is right for you, and you know that it will not reflect well on your results and maybe on company well-being. And also think about your life in general, how you want to see yourself, how you want your life to be, that you really feel fulfilled and happy and realized. Because when you are in that state of happiness and fulfillment, it will affect your everything in business. Yes,
All
because
the spheres of your life. All the spheres of your life.
yes, so it how you think about yourself will determine how people will think about you.
There is a good quote that actually popped in my mind when you said that. And it says, "You will never rise above who you think you are." So, whatever you think about yourself, is true. Do I think that I am capable, I'm clever, I'm worthy, I'm beautiful? That's who I am. Do I think that I am incapable, imposter, bad girl? That's who I am. And you see, the level of confidence, the level of energy, they will mirror that, right? It's maybe it's not the topic for today because it's a huge topic. It's also the topic of identity. Who do I think I am? If I think I'm a great leader, I'm a kind person, and I am overall, really good at what I'm doing, then I will have different energy and different level of confidence. If I think exactly the opposite, that I'm not worthy, I'm incapable and stuff like that, then my energy will mirror. And I won't be confident. I will be like this. I will want to hide because I don't think I'm worthy to actually be here. It's really different. So self identity, I would also, and we can include that into manifestation, who you are and whom do you want to be.
Yes, by other thoughts, by other words, start thinking about your self image. because self-image determines everything in your life, the way you think, the way you talk, the way you walk, how you meet and greet other people. So the leadership in leadership, it is so important for people, women and men also, to know who they are. Yes, to really be confident in themselves. Yes, to have positive inner dialogue. Yes, so the energy is at one place, because everything what they feel inside will be reflected outside, and
Absolutely.
people will see you exactly as you see yourself. And
Exactly. Yeah, I love it.
yes, and it is not always even verbal communication. People connect even before you start speaking,
Absolutely.
because communication happens at the subconscious level, like our body, our subconscious intuition. Yes, intuition, very like very how to say gentle device, and it is very sensitive. Yes, and
And
we
it's very
can
fast.
yes, and we can just enter the room and just even before we speak or we even see, we can feel. Yeah, we can
There
feel
is
the
the vibration. Yes, absolutely.
yes,
Absolutely.
exactly. And maybe you also notice some people, they come into the room and they come so confident, yes, and everybody just feel it. Oh, like, what is this person, like everybody looking at him or at her. Yes, so it is all related to that inner confidence, and love yourself. Yeah, love other people, come with from the place of being full cup. Yes, being
Abundance.
full cup, being happy to give. Yes, being
Absolutely.
happy to give, and this will so improve any business. Yes, and everything in your life.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I can relate to everything that you're saying, especially to that vibe when someone with really, really cool energy is entering the room and you're like, huh, partner. Yes. We can feel we are like, we're energetic creatures. We can feel the energies of other people.
Yes. Also, another thing I wanted to speak about the conflicts. Let's speak about conflicts at work, and if women are leaders in that company. So let's discuss that a little bit.
Of course. Just give me a second. So tell me, what is that you want to know about the conflict? How women leaders should approach the conflict?
Yes, yes, exactly. Like there are, there are companies where people can compete with each other. They can be bullying at the place. So how the women who are leaders in that company can handle these conflicts?
So it actually all the time depends on the conflict, but um, what will help with the conflict is the culture, right? Having the culture of understanding and the feedback so that the conflict can be eliminated at the first place. But when the conflict already took place, the way to mediate is actually being a mediator of the conflict. So if there are two parties, the third party should step in, and usually the third party should approach everyone separately, right? And for me, it's a really coaching process when, by asking powerful questions, you let those people, or those, it can be two people, it can be more, those people reflect individually, right? And understand, okay, maybe I was too harsh with that person, maybe I attacked this person, maybe I had way too high expectations and stuff like that. So first, I would say it's one-to-one work with the participants of the conflict. Then step number two is when the mediator, the third party, is bringing the conflicting parties together to actually discuss openly the situation, right? It's not about pointing fingers and blaming each other. It's about really aiming to resolve the issue for the greater good of everyone and for the greater good of the company. because the end goal at the corporation and for every business is to do good by the company, either to generate revenue or to generate clients or whatever your position is, right? But we are in the work environment. Of course, we have to be good to each other, but it's a work environment and the end goals are always business related, right? So then have an open dialogue and an open session to discuss the conflict and to discuss ways out of it. It's really all about self-awareness, Elena, and about willingness to step outside of your comfort zone, and sometimes willingness to accept the critical feedback and to change some of the parts.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dasha, for sharing with us. So before we wrap up this episode, would you like to share some maybe three important things which you learned during your coaching practice, which can help people who listen to us?
Absolutely. So I would say the first one that we already said, uh, all the time, treat yourself as the most beautiful creature on this planet, right? It's all about self love and self acceptance, because whatever you feel inside, it gets projected outside. So that's number one. Number two, be self aware. Yeah, we all have our bright sides and we all have our dark sides. It's fine to have dark sides. But what is necessary is to reflect, to understand where you're at, and take actions. Okay. And then the third one, what I've learned, be fearless. It's only one life, right? And then reflect on how do you want to look at your life when you will be 85? When you will be 85, you want to look back and see what? This is really, really powerful to reflect back, yeah, to think backwards. So I would say that love yourself, really be self-aware, reflect, and be courageous.
Yes, and expect good things to happen in your life by thinking big, dreaming big, allowing yourself to feel those opportunities and spend time with imagination. And you will see that many things of what you think about will happen.
Absolutely. Love it.
So thank you so much, Dasha, for being amazing guest in our podcast show. And I'm looking forward to speak again with you soon.
Thanks, Elena. That was a pleasure.